The night before I made my professional debut at Lords, I had 20 minutes sleep. I couldn't sleep because my mind was racing. I hear from parents sometimes that say that their kids throw up before they bat. And this is all linked to our mindset and our emotions. And to be the best athlete we can be, we need to be able to manage our thoughts and our emotions and perform with them. And I only learned this after my professional career ended. And it's why at Cricket Mentoring we teach our 6 pillars of success framework. To be the best athlete you can be, you need to be working on yourself in all 6 pillars of success: technical, tactical, mental, emotional, physical, and lifestyle. Growing up as an aspiring cricketer, I worked really hard in the nets. I studied the game and understood the game well. I was as fit as I possibly could be, and my habits and behaviours were good that allowed me to perform at my best consistently. But what were the ones that were missing? Understanding my thoughts and my emotions and how much they impact my performance is what cost me my professional career. It's what held me back from performing at my best consistently, because some days I'd show up and would feel really calm and really good and my skills would be free, and other days I'd be really tense and anxious and tight and I wouldn't be able to execute my skills. I wouldn't be able to make good decisions. And I don't want you to struggle just as I did. So it's so important that you're working on all 6 pillars of success. Now, most people get into the nets, they work at their technique. I think the tactical pillar isn't as well understood now as it used to be. So many distractions with social media, players aren't studying the game like they used to. When I was growing up, I would watch the TV as entertainment and education. Now, when the cricket's on, people are on their phones and they look up and watch the ball. They're not listening to the commentators, they're not learning from where the field is set and those sort of things. So I'd highly encourage you to really delve deep into the tactics side of the game as well. Try and understand the game in general. When the ball turns more, where do the fielders go? When the wicket is bouncy and fast, what happens to the fielders? What are the batters doing when the opening bowler comes back on? All these little tactical things that you can learn, they're not just linked to your game, but they're linked to the game of cricket in general. So technique, you do in the nets. You work hard, no doubt, with a coach. Tactically, you can learn by watching the game. Get on YouTube, watch live cricket, and really take notes, draw out the field and learn as much as you can on the tactical pillar. Physically, it's about being as strong and as fit as you possibly can be. Unless you are injured or you have some chronic illness or disease, we all have the choice. Do we go for a run or a walk? Do we go for a bike ride, a swim, anything? Do we go to the gym? Or do we sit at home on our phones, on the computer, on Xbox, on a PlayStation, and not take action? That is a choice. And now, so many professional teams look at fitness as an indicator or marker of how much an athlete wants to be successful. If they're physically fit, it generally means they're willing to do the extras, they're willing to put in the work, and they're hungry to be the best they can be. If they're not, they often see that as a sign of being lazy and not really deeply hungry to be the best they can be. And fitness can cost you selection in teams at times, and it's a choice. So I'd encourage you to make sure you're doing your strength and conditioning and getting some expert help if that's something you're able to do. If you need an expert, well, we have experts as partners, strength and conditioning experts, Diamond High Performance, based here in Perth, who have worked with Australian cricketers. They are Marcus Stoinis, personal trainers. They are available to you guys. No matter where in the world you live, no matter what standard of strength and conditioning you're currently at, we have online programs that are suitable for batters, bowlers, wicket keepers that are specific to your skill set, designed by the guys at Diamond High Performance so that you aren't neglecting your strength and conditioning and your physical pillar. So if that's something that interests you, click on the link below and you can get started straight away. The lifestyle pillar. Now this is around your habits and behaviours, and these impact how you show up to cricket. If you show up tired, dehydrated, hungry, then you're not going to perform at your best. You're not giving yourself the best chance of performing at your best. So your lifestyle habits and behaviours are so important so that you can get to cricket full of energy, ready to go, really focused, and you're fueled well, you're well rested, and that your water tank, this idea that you've got a water tank of your mind and your body, and you want to start with it full. You don't want to start with it empty, because you're never going to perform at your best when it's empty. And by having your water tank full, it's about sleeping well, eating well, being hydrated, being rested, and letting your sort of body be in the best possible place it can be, so that you can bring your skill set to each and every moment that you're about to perform in. Other parts of the lifestyle pillar that we talk about, your habits and behaviors, are things like not watching too much TV where possible, reading books and learning from other people who have been successful in the past, journaling, and creating the habit of reflecting and journaling on things you've been learning, stretching regularly. They're all just little habits and behaviors that can help you become the best athlete. They might only be 0.001% each time you do them, but all those habits, they all stack up over time, and that is what the best athletes are willing to do. They're willing to just do anything that gives them a tiny bit of an edge over others, makes them a tiny bit better, because they know over time all those tiny little things add up to be a big thing. Now finally, the mental and emotional pillars. Now they can easily go together, they're very interconnected, but we've separated them in our 6 pillars of success framework so that you understand that they are both important. Now, you don't get a feeling or emotion without first having a thought. Now I'm sure you've all had a moment where you've had some sort of thought of, oh, I left my phone at school, or oh, I did something I shouldn't have, and that creates this feeling in our body where we suddenly start to sweat, or we suddenly start to feel sick, we suddenly start to get sweaty palms. It's the thought that triggers the emotion, but it's how our body reacts that then allows us to perform at our best or hinders us from performing at our best. If we think, I've got to do well today, I've got to do well, I've got to get 100, I don't want to let my dad down, I don't want to miss out on selection, I don't want to get dropped. Those fear-based thoughts create this tension in our body, and that tension doesn't allow us to then play with freedom and play at our best. I think that the best players generally play with freedom. They're highly trained, they work really hard to get their skills at a high level, then they walk out to play and they trust themselves. They're not worrying about what could happen. They're not focused on the negative outcome. They're excited to be there. They're hungry to do well, and they accept that it might not happen. It might not be their day. And that acceptance of that it might not be your day allows you to play with freedom, and that is where you play your best, as opposed to playing with fear. I don't want to stuff up. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to let someone down. That creates the tension in your body. That creates us to sort of not be able to make good decisions, not be able to make the right decisions and make quick decisions, and not be able to move as consistently and as freely as we often do. You might have heard sort of batters talk about concrete boots, or not being able to get your feet moving, and same sort of thing for bowlers, like holding onto the ball too tight. That's when you're really tense in your body, but it all stems from your thoughts. And this is something I wish I knew when I was younger, so that I could have worked on my mindset. And you've got to be working on your mindset, understanding your thoughts, and then working on how to manage those thoughts and how to redirect your attention or your focus onto something that helps you get into a state physically that allows you to perform at your best. So guys, if you want to be the best you can be, as I've already said, you've got to be working on your mindset and you're understanding your emotions. And that's what I lacked as a young athlete. And that's why I'm so passionate about the mental skills that are needed to be the best you can be. And that's why we've created our online mental skills course for cricketers around the world who are desperate to be the best they can be. And they don't usually get the support that they need with their thoughts and their emotions. They're doing it all on their own. And if that's you, this course will help you. It'll help you build a framework of what the best athletes do that you could be doing. It's taking the lessons and the clues that I've learned from 20 years of high performance cricket as a player, as a coach, working with some of the best players in the world, interviewing some of the best players in the world, and asking them, what do they do? What is it that you do that's different to most people? We've put it all in this course for you so that you can take those lessons and implement them into yourself, and therefore into your game and life moving forward. And the great thing about mental skills is they go with you wherever you go. Whether it's in a job interview or something that's really, really important, you can use those mental skills manage your nerves, learn how to stay calm in big moments, learn how to quieten the voice, the negative voice, and focus on a positive story. All these really, really important things that hold back so many people from performing at their best. So if you're interested in getting this mental skills course, you can do it right now. You can start straight away, click on the link below, and you can get started and take your mindset and your game to the next level. Well guys, the 6 pillars of success is something that I really wish I knew when I was younger. I wish I could have worked harder at all of them: technical, tactical, mental, emotional, physical, and lifestyle. So I would highly encourage you to take this framework that we've come up with and write it out, list it out, and make sure you're working on yourself in all 6 pillars of success consistently, so that you can continually get better and improve and become the cricketer you want to be in the future. If you do neglect some of these areas, you will not be the ultimate player that you could be. So make sure you're doing them all.